Hello, welcome to 6 months. Tomorrow marks 6 months of me being on glutathione, and so I thought I would do an update video for you guys. Don't mind my no makeup face or my lint covered shirt. Whenever I film, like, I'm always either about to work out or in my pajamas. Like, there is no in between. So basically it's been 6 months so far, and I think one of the largest assumptions on my channel, especially if you're new here, is that I've been taking MSM and glutathione nonstop ever since I started posting, and that is just false. I started MSM and glutathione in April of 2019, and I did that for 3 or 4 months, but I was doing the pills. So I was going through like 2 or 3 bottles of pills of glutathione like every week or week and a half. Like, it was ridiculous. That's a very expensive way of going about reduced glutathione, and also I don't feel like they were really, helping me. So I switched over to bulk glutathione, and then I started experimenting with taking it rectally and then doing the nebulizer. And so even though I started in April 2019, like, it was a rough few months of figuring out that, like, you can't take it orally, because it's bioavailability is like terrible, and most of it will just be wasted. So yeah, it took me a start. So like, I try to say that I did it from April of 2019 to about February of 2020. But to be honest, there was like a couple months in there where I was figuring out my technique. So depending on your body and also your skin and what your goals are and what your pocketbook is, like, how that's set up, everyone's journey is going to be a little different. So obviously, if you have the money to do injections or you have the money to do IVs, and depending on how, like, what are your goals for your skin, like what is the tone, like what are you hoping to fix, depending on that, some people could be done with their journey within 4 to 5 months, while others might need a full like 12 months to 24 months of doing a continuous routine. So it really just depends, and I know a lot of people do a mixture of different things. It's not just one. It was funny, I saw in one of my videos someone said, if you just get the glutathione injections, it'll be way cheaper than all of these different supplements that you're taking and that you have in your bio. And in a way, I definitely do think that is true. Like, sometimes with all these different supplements, it might be cheaper just to do shots or something like that. Of course, I've never had a shot, and I've never had a glutathione IV, so I can't 100% say it would be cheaper to do that. But I think half of my problem is, like, I love trying new things. So like, I'll get going on something and I'll be consistent with it, but I'm constantly adding new supplements or new vitamins to the routine. So I mean, it definitely gets to be a lot, and I don't know, I love the trial and error of it, and I love when I have like breakthroughs and I figure out something that speeds things up. But at the same time, so the longer you take glutathione, it actually has the ability to build up in your cells. Like, your cells will actually store it. And unlike some of the other things that we take, like when I was talking about zinc, our bodies cannot store zinc. That's why you have to take it all throughout the day to really get the benefits of it. It's kind of like if you were to take like spironolactone, our body's not going to like store that and hold on to it. Usually you have your dosages kind of drawn out, and then I can tell when I've gone like a long period of time without it. Like, not by a long period of time, I mean like during the day. My face will start like reverting back to the oiliness that it naturally is. Obviously, if I keep all of my dosages timed and on schedule, I have constant coverage 24/7. And oftentimes that's kind of in a way, when I was doing nebulizers, I noticed that my skin would like glow right after it. Like, nebulizers take about like 35 to 45 minutes to do like 2,000 milligrams, but I would notice like I could see the glow in my face. But then the next day, let's say it's almost 24 hours, I'd get ready for my next dosage and I could see like my face was like back to normal. So like, I would have to do it again. So it's like being very consistent with glutathione. Yes, it is stored in your cells, but you have to take it for so long in such a high dosage that you'll finally like start reaping the benefits. And so for your first 3 months of glutathione, let's assume you're taking 5,000 milligrams. Let's assume you're not doing IVs, you're not doing shots. The first 3 months really is like setting up that baseline, and so you're really not going to get the most drastic of change within the first 3 months. But it really depends on what tone were you when you started out, and what are your goals. You know, for some people maybe they will, but for me obviously 3 months was definitely not enough. And that's just assuming you're doing reduced glutathione or acetyl or liposomal glutathione. Obviously I can't speak on IV and I can't speak on shots because I've never done them, but I am very, very interested in, I would say I would try to do the IV before doing like a shot, but I can't see myself getting into that until like maybe April or May of this year. So if I do some experimentation with those things, you guys will see that later on. But so yeah, I tried for about 11 months. That was from April 2019 to about February. And then I started to get lazy. So officially I stopped glutathione in March of 2020. So that's why I say I took it for about 11 months. But yeah, I started getting spacey. I would sometimes miss a couple days. I was not very consistent with it, and you really need that consistency because your body just stores it and it kind of builds up on each other. I don't know if that makes sense, but it just, the more you take it, the longer you take it. You know, people who have had their blood taken or sampled, you know, the glutathione levels in their blood, like the first month of taking it every day versus 3 months is like, it increases by 30%. That's just within the first 3 months. So the longer you take it, the more you'll see it in your blood compared to someone who's only been on it for like 30 days or something. So I stopped for a bit, and then in September, I just looked in my Amazon history. That's when I bought the acetyl glutathione. So I got back on acetyl glutathione September 22nd is when it was delivered. So from March of 2020 to September, I wasn't on it. And during that time, I was doing some chemical peels, things like that. If you guys watched my last video, I showed you some of the spots on my body and how like the skin underneath, what it's looking like, and how I don't remember having this big of a difference in the color of my new skin versus the color of my old skin when I did my first 2 chemical peels back in 2020. And it's because I think I was not currently on glutathione at all for one of them. That was the one I did during the summer, and then the other one I did in late spring. So by that time I had already kind of stopped doing glutathione, and also I was not wearing sunscreen, I was not doing sun protection, and I was out and about outside because we were also like on lockdown. We couldn't go anywhere, so being cooped up in the house, like, I don't know, it was really, really boring. So if I could go out and like go fishing, or if I could just go out and be by the water, I was, you know, taking full advantage of it, but also not properly protecting my skin. So I think that's why during that time I didn't see such a difference. But right now, doing a chemical peel, as you see, my legs are almost done. There's certain parts on my body, especially on my back, where it's just like the difference is very noticeable. And so I'm really, really hoping that my skin turns out even colored, because I did not apply the oil all over my body. Like, I skipped my chest. I skipped my face. I'm not wearing makeup so you guys can see what it's looking like, but yeah. I don't know if on camera you guys will be able to see my back. Just being a YouTuber and making videos, like, we look so much different on camera versus in real life. So sometimes when I'm taking photos or stuff like that and showing you guys, I think that's closer to what my skin tone looks like in, you know, real life versus like on camera. And obviously the lighting changes, because obviously I'll take pictures of myself outside in natural lighting, and then I'll take pictures in front of a window, and then I'll take pictures in like a bathroom with no windows, and so it's always like a little different. So to get a good idea of what everything looks like, I feel like I have to like do all 3 and then show. Yeah, I was off of it for a while, then I started September 22, and then yesterday was March 22nd, so it's been officially 6 months. And I started with the Pure, but I was not taking a very large dosage of the Pure. I was only taking 600 milligrams. So that's something that I would do different, is that if I was to do Pure again, I would definitely take over 1,000 milligrams. For me, like, taking 1,000 milligrams of pure a day, that's way too expensive. It's so much more cheaper to do the reduced glutathione, which is why I'm doing reduced glutathione, and I'm doing the rectal syringes though. I've had really good results just doing the rectal syringes. I don't know how many months I've been doing the rectal syringe now. It could be 3 months, I could be wrong, or it could just be 2 months, but I feel like my results look great, but it's hard to know for sure because I've already had like a baseline of glutathione in my system for so long. So of course anything I do now, I'm already at an advantage because I've had it consistently in my blood for freaking half a year now. So, you know, even in April or May, if I do decide to do IVs or whatever I decide to do, I'm assuming I will, you know, my progress will probably speed up a little more. I've been on glutathione for like 7 to 8 months. And so anyone who has, you know, the time on their side, you're going to get the most results versus someone who's only been doing it for like 2 or 3 months. So far with the reduced glutathione, I'm taking 2,000 milligrams a day. I'm about to bump it back up to 4,000 milligrams just to see the difference. So I told you guys for a couple weeks I was doing 4,000 milligrams a day, and then for a couple weeks, by a couple I mean probably about 3 weeks, I've been doing 2,000 milligrams. And basically I just go back and forth just to see if I see like a noticeable difference. The issue with this is that like I'm keeping it inside, like the rectal syringe, I'm able to retain it for so freaking long. Like it's way longer. Like every night I'm making it completely throughout the night without having to release my rectal syringe. So that in itself is insane. So basically all of this glutathione, I'm 100% retaining all of it. So versus someone who's only able to keep it in for maybe 15 minutes or someone who's only able to keep it in an hour, your results are going to be maybe a little different. I don't know how my body got used to it to where I can keep it in that long, but it has. And I'm just obviously like there's a huge benefit to being able to make it overnight with it. So we'll see how this goes when I boost up back to 4,000 milligrams, but I just wanted to share with you guys what 6 months is looking like, where I started even back in 2019 and where I got after 10 to 11 months of taking it until 2020, when in March I pretty much kind of stopped. And then yeah, I picked it back up in September. And you know, during that March to September hiatus from glutathione, I really wasn't wearing a lot of SPF. Like a lot of the SPFs I have, like they smell like SPF, and so like I don't like that. I take a lot of pride in like my scented oils and my perfumes, and so a lot of the times like I just, if I would go out somewhere, I just would avoid the sun. But obviously there are times when like, you know, driving, there's only so much I can do. So I'm sure not 100% protecting myself, that has definitely probably slowed some of my progress. So if you are more anal with things like this, like if you are more like on top of your stuff and making sure that you are always covered in either SPF or just like long sleeves or something, obviously your results might be a lot different than mine.